Here we are at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca at the conclusion of the 8th round of the NTT IndyCar Series season, the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. It was a spectacular race, sometimes for the good reasons, sometimes not so good. But we did see Alex Palou deliver a bit of a beatdown, whereby if it had gone green, we're fairly convinced he would have won by about a lap. However, it didn't go green all the way. There are plenty of yellows. Colton Herta was his nearest challenger, but admitted that if he couldn't get him on a restart, he wasn't going to get him at all, and so it proved. Alex Rossi had his best result of the season, third place, after a really fighting drive and after leading some laps. And in fourth place, we had Romain Grosjean, producing the best performance yet of his career at Juncos Hollinger, certainly, and the best result for Juncos Hollinger since they joined the series. Now, there was controversy further on down. We had Scott McLaughlin bumping into Will Power at turn 5, knocking him backwards, but also damaging his own car. We had Joseph Newgarden, who was off strategy following a drive-through penalty, who then found himself magically in second due to the IndyCar delaying its yellow flags. And then Joseph spurned the opportunity by twice falling off the road at turn 6. So he finished 19th, which is a really wretched weekend by his perfectionist kind of standards. Scott Dixon clung on to third in the championship with a good solid drive. Nolan Siegel spun on his debut, but managed to recover to 12th place for Arrow McLaren. Power's eventual recovery to 7th means he does stay second in the championship, ahead of Scott Dixon, who finished just ahead of him. So there were plenty of yellow flags, plenty of controversy, and plenty of people spitting out their pacifiers. However, the day absolutely belonged to Alex Palou. He lost the lead to Carl Kirkwood at the start, but then just stalked him and then simply outpaced him thereafter. There was a moment when the Andretti guys were on reds, and both Herta and Kirkwood made their way past Palou, but he just kept pace with them, and in the end, the brilliance of him and his setup prevailed. We spoke to him after the race. Alex Palou, congratulations on winning at Laguna again. I got the impression today from the pace that your car had that if it had gone green all the way, you'd have put a similar beat down on the field that you did back in 2022. Is that right? Did you have that strong a car again?
Yeah, I think so. You never know, obviously, but I think so. Once we had to go fast, I think we were the fastest car out there by a margin, and I was just super comfortable with the track and with the car. I think the past 3 years we had the best car around. That allows me to just have an advantage on pace. So I'm glad we're here again in Victory Lane, and that we were able to get the win.
And your strategy of doing, I think, fresh blacks, and then sticker blacks, used blacks, red, used blacks.
Yep.
Was that something you decided on beforehand, or is that something that you and Barry had to a decision you had to make on the fly?
No, I mean, we're always flexible, obviously, depending on what happens, but we knew that the best tire, the fastest tire was going to be the red, the new red.
Yes.
So we wanted to keep it for as late as possible, just in case there's 20 restarts, as we had, not 20, but 4 or 5. But it was risky as well in case we just had deck and we couldn't finish the race. So I think the safest and best way was to do what we did, which was to keep it for the third stint.
Yes.
That way we were able to gap a little bit, get into the first position. We overtook Rossi on track and Colton on track, and gap them enough so we could decide what strategy was the best for us at the end. Obviously, it would have helped if we had more new alternates, but I think only the people that didn't get into the Fast 12 had it.
That's right, yeah. Were you nervous about your strategy at all when Colton and Kirkwood came past you?
Yes, I mean
I
when.
know they were on reds and you were on blacks,
Yeah,
but
but
even
still,
so,
yeah, you lose track position. So yeah, I'm not nervous, but I was pissed because I didn't do the best job I could have done. It was not because of strategy or anything. Obviously, they had an advantage on tires, and that's
yeah.
why he was able to go through outside and then inside and get a good exit. But anyway, I wasn't executing well on that move, same as I did on the start. But yeah, anyway, I knew that the best thing was to try and stay close to them, which we were able to do it on blacks,
Yeah.
and I knew we were in a good position.
And when you were trying to make a huge margin before your next pit stop, was the car as good as it had been all weekend? Because I mean that was really seemed to be a bit where this is just Palou being Palou again. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. The car
Yeah.
was great. I was pushing as hard as possible. It was qualifying laps for I don't know how many laps we
Yeah,
did, but
exactly.
it was qualifying laps every lap. At the end, I was actually a bit worried because my rears were gone, and
Okay.
it was tough. But I knew it. I knew that
Yeah.
when you push that hard, the rears were gonna go. But yeah, I was glad that we made it happen. That we had that pace because I was able to be on the low 69s, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, mid to low 69s pretty easily. So yeah, it was amazing.
And the restart with Colton behind you. I mean, how difficult is it for a driver in the lead to choose his strategy, whether he slows down a lot or whether he. I mean, the one thing that IndyCar say is that you can't vary your speed and kind of like brake check the guy behind. But, I mean, is the way you did it the best way, you think?
Um, so when you're in the lead on a restart behind a safety car, it's tough to warm up your tires a little bit more than everybody behind. Yeah, you cannot leave a gap, but it's a lot easier for them to leave a gap to me than
Right,
it is
yeah.
for me to leave it to the safety car. Every time I leave a gap, the safety car slows down. So
Right.
it's tougher always. So it's tougher to get temperature, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, there's always better ways to do it. I mean, I had to defend a lot on the second to last restart
Yes.
or third to last restart with Colton. He had a really good run, and
Yeah.
I almost spun out of the last corner because I just went on throttle because I wanted to get a good exit and had the worst exit that I could have had. But anyway, things
Yeah.
happen sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
glad that it was okay and we could stay in the lead.
Your fastest lap was about half a second faster than Colton's fastest lap. Do you think that if he had got ahead of you, you could have got him back? Your car was that good.
With 10 laps to go, tough. With
Right.
a full stint to go, yes.
Right.
But yeah, with 10 laps to go, it's always tough. I mean, there's always ways to try and uh, avoid getting overtaken. The Andretti's, they had a really good acceleration out of last corner, and that was
Okay.
putting me in bad shape for overtaking into turn two. But yeah, if it was a full stint, for sure.
Next, the NTT IndyCar Series moves to Mid-Ohio, and that will be the debut of the hybrid system. More excitement to come, more technical challenges, as you'll have noted from watching the Craig Hampson interview earlier this weekend. You'll get all the news and all the videos you want on racer.com.